Hey mathematics learners, welcome to Distance Learning with Lee, where I make learning mathematics super easy. So on today's video tutorial, guys, we're going to be just looking at this fun activity and we're going to be doing it together. We are going to be calculating the perimeters of the following shapes. Okay, so we are basically given here a playground that is triangular, that is a triangle, has a shape of a triangle. We are given the sandpit, right? We are given the classroom, and we are also given a vegetable garden. Okay, so in all these situations, we are going to be calculating the perimeter. Okay, and if you basically look at all these shapes, okay, we can see that okay, with the units, some of the units are not the same. So we need to ensure that okay, the first thing that we do, we're going to be changing the units and making them the same, and then from there we are going to be calculating the parameters of the following shapes. Okay, so before we get started with today's video tutorial, guys, please make sure that you are subscribed to the channel. Please make sure that you click on that notification bell so that you get notified every single time I upload a new video tutorial, guys. And please don't forget to give all these video tutorials a huge thumbs up, because that really helps the channel grow and it helps the channel to reach more learners that want to better their mathematics marks. So without any further ado, guys, let's get started with today's video tutorial. So like I mentioned, on the previous video tutorial that I did, when I explained to you guys how we calculate perimeter, I explained that perimeter is defined as the outline or the total length of the outline of your shape. Okay, so when we are basically calculating the perimeters of the playground, okay, of the sandpit, okay, of the vegetable garden, and of the classroom, we need to take note that we just purely want the outline of this shape. So think back to how you would outline a shape in grade 1, grade 2 when you were coloring in. You'd first start off by doing the outline of that shape. So that is basically what we want. We want that outline, okay, of that shape when we are calculating perimeter. All right, so we're going to start off by calculating the perimeter of this garden. Okay, already here we've got a problem. Okay, the first problem is that our units are not the same. So we first need to change our units and make them the same. So I'm going to change all the units in this activity to meters. Okay, we're going to change everything to meters. All our units, we're going to change them to meters. Okay, how do we convert centimeters into meters? Because you can see that here we are given the units of 400 centimeters. How do you convert centimeters to meters? You already know, guys. If you've watched the video tutorial that I've done for you guys on length conversion, if you want to move from centimeters and you want to go to meters, we're just going to take that 400, we want to divide it by 100, and this is just going to give us 4 meters. Okay, so 400 centimeters is 4 meters, and then from there to there, that is 6 meters. So I'm going to start off by just converting everything. Okay, let's convert the 200 centimeters into meters. I'm going to just say 200 divided by 100, and that is equal to 2 meters. So we can already see that the vegetable garden is a square shape, okay, because we can see that the length and the length is basically equal. Okay, then we've got 5,000 millimeters. How do we convert millimeters into centimeters? Remember, we're going to first divide by 10. If we divide by 10, it just puts us at centimeters. Then we divide by 100. So in actuality, if we wanted to convert 5,000 millimeters into meters, we have to divide by 1,000. So if you take 5,000, you divide by 1,000, this gives you 5 meters. Okay, so 5,000 millimeters is actually 5 meters. Let us convert the 150 centimeters. How do we convert 150 centimeters? 150 divided by 100, and this is equal to 1.5 meters. So we've converted all these dimensions into meters, And from here, we are more than ready to now calculate the perimeters of the given shapes. Okay, right. So now let's look at the first question. We are given a playground, okay, and with this playground, we can see that it's a triangle. Uh, it is a triangle, right? But what is missing from this triangle? Can you guys see that we are not given a side there? Okay, we are not given that side there. So because we're not given that side there, that is gonna make our lives a bit hard when it comes to calculating perimeter. Okay, so now I'm gonna just introduce you guys to a nice, amazing concept, okay, that you're supposed to know from grade 8, from grade 9, the Pythagoras theorem. Okay, so if you are given a right angle triangle, so I've put the right angle there on our triangle, that is a right angle triangle. And we wanted to determine the length of that hypotenuse, okay? The side that is opposite our right angle is called our hypotenuse. So because we want this unknown side x, how would we then calculate it? Okay, using the theorem of Pythagoras. Okay, so guys, please, this is also a very important topic that you guys also need to know. Okay, even though it's not really assessed in mathematical literacy, I think that I've never really seen a past paper where they ask you to use the theorem of Pythagoras. But I mean, come on, guys. This is something that is done in grade 9. Okay, so we should know this. I'm going to do a recap of the Pythagoras theorem. What does the Pythagoras theorem say? Okay, if you are given a right angle triangle and you want to determine the length of an unknown side, okay, so here I'm just gonna redraw this playground. I'm gonna move this slightly to the side. Okay. We know that this is a right angle triangle because I basically told you guys it's a right angle triangle. We already know that the length there is 6 meters. From there to there, it's 4 meters. And we are trying to determine what is that side then. Okay, so to get the hypotenuse, okay, your hypotenuse squared, because the side that is opposite your right angle is called your hypotenuse, okay? So your hypotenuse squared is equal to your horizontal side squared. So I'll call that x. Let's label this triangle actually. Let's just do that so that you guys don't get confused. Let's say this is called my triangle A, B, C. Okay. So for me to calculate the hypotenuse squared, okay, side AD squared is equal to side AD squared is equal to side BC squared plus side AC squared. Okay, that is how we calculate that unknown side using the theorem of Pythagoras. Very important. Okay, so from there, let's find that side quickly. What is our BC squared? So we're just going to substitute. It is 6 meters. So it's 6 all squared plus what is AC? AC is 4 all squared. And then we are just trying to solve for AD squared. Okay, how can we isolate our AD? Because we can already see that our AD is not isolated. It's not on its own because we've got that 2 there. Okay, so because we've got that 2 there, we want to get rid of that 2. So how can we get rid of that 2 correctly, mathematically? Okay, we are going to square root both sides. And we know if you square root both sides, okay, or if you use the square root, it basically gets rid of that square there. Okay, so therefore our AD is just going to be equal to the square root of 6 all squared plus 4 all squared. Okay, if you punch that into your calculator, okay, your answer, and then you press the SD button, you'll find that the length of our side AD is actually equal to 7.2. I'm going to round it off to 3 decimal places, 7.211 meters. Okay, so that is the length of that side there. So something very interesting that you guys can also take note of, using the Pythagoras theorem to help you determine the length of an unknown side. So it's 7.211 meters. So that is the length of our hypotenuse. And from here, right, we've got all the sides that we need, all the sides of our triangle, and we can now calculate the perimeter of this triangle, because we already know that if we're calculating perimeter, just think of, you're outlining this shape, okay? And because you're outlining this shape, you just want the total length of all the sides of this shape, okay? So from here, how would we then get the perimeter of this shape? You're just going to then take, okay, just going to move it to the side. Therefore, to get the perimeter, okay, of our playground, I've already redrawn our playground here on the left hand side. It's just going to be equal to that 6 meters plus the 7.211 meters plus the 4 meters. Okay, if you punch this into your calculator, you'll see that it's 6 plus 7.211 plus 4, which is equal to 17.211 meters. And that is then the perimeter of our playground. That is the outline of our playground, or the total length around, or total length around the boundary of our shape. Okay, now let's have a look at the next question. Next question, we want to calculate now the perimeter of the sand pit. Okay, so what shape is the sand pit? We can already see that this sand pit is a circle. So to calculate the perimeter, we already know that if you're working with a circle, perimeter is just called the circumference. Okay, so for us to determine the circumference of this circle, we use that formula that I showed you guys in the previous video tutorial. Okay, so how do you calculate then the circumference, which is still the perimeter of your circle? Okay, just going to move this there. We were given that circle there, and to calculate the circumference, okay, which is the perimeter, because it's the length around the outline of our circle. So it's the perimeter, but it's called circumference because we are dealing with a circle. Okay, so the circumference is equal to, it's 2 multiplied by pi multiplied by r. Okay, what are the dimensions of our sandpit? Remember, we are given that the sandpit has a radius from the center to the outer part of the circle. That is the radius, and that radius is equal to 1.5 meters. So we're going to substitute that into our formula. So it's 2 multiplied by 3.142 multiplied by our radius is given as 1.5 meters. Okay, if you punch this into your calculator, you'll find that the circumference of this circle is equal to 9.426 meters. Okay, so that is the length around the outline of our shape. The length around the outline of this sandpit is equal to 9.426 meters. All right, now let's have a look at this classroom. How would we then calculate the perimeter of this classroom? Okay, so think of it this way. Okay, this is actually a school. Okay, and we are given the top view of the school. Okay, how the playground looks from the top, how the sandpit looks from the top, how the vegetable garden of the school looks from the top, and how the classroom of the school looks from the top if you like remove the roof. Okay, that is what you'd see. So how would we then calculate the perimeter just of this classroom? Remember, you want to find the outline or the boundaries of the shape. Okay, let's do that. You draw the boundary, the outline, you outline the shape. Do you see what I'm doing? We are outlining this shape, the length of the outline, hence out. Okay, so we're not going through this there. We are not doing that line there. We are just going around our classroom. Okay, so where I've basically drawn those brown lines, we just want to get the total length of all those sides where I've drawn the outline. Okay, so from here, how would we then get the perimeter of this classroom? So I'm going to do it here, okay? To get the perimeter of this classroom, okay? Don't make this silly mistake of thinking, oh, this is a square, and then it's 4 times L, then this is a rectangle, so it's 2L plus 2B. No, you are finding the perimeter. So you're moving on the outline of that shape. You're not going in between. Okay, so that is why in this case, if you did it like that, you'd get a different answer. Okay, so then in this case, you'd say perimeter, okay, would just be equal to, we are going to add all the lengths where I've basically drawn that brown line. So we're going to start off, we're going to add that 1.5. It's 1.5 meters. Plus, we're going to add, what is the length from there to there? It's 1.5 because it's directly opposite to that line. So it's 1.5 meters. Plus, we are going from there to there. It's 1 meter. Plus, we are going from there to there. It's directly opposite there, the 5. So this is also 5 meters. Plus, how do we get the total length there? Okay, so we're going to add, it's that from there to there, guys. Okay, from there to there, we already know that it's 7 meters. From there to there, we already know that it's 1.5 meters. And from there to there, we already know that it's 1 meter. So it's 1 plus 1.5 is 2.5 meters plus 7. This gives us 9.5. So the total length from there to there is actually equal to 9.5 meters. So we're going to add that 9.5 meters plus the length from there to there, it's 5 meters, plus the length from there to there is 7 meters, plus the length from there to there is 1.5 meters. Okay, right. So very important there. Perimeter is the outline of our shape. Even if you're given an irregular shape, okay, if you just add up the length around that outline, you can just get the perimeter. So if you take 1.5 plus 1.5 plus 1 plus 5 plus 9.5 plus 5 plus 7 plus 1.5, you'll get that then the perimeter of this shape is 32 meters. Okay, so the perimeter of this classroom, if you had to walk around this classroom, you would walk 32 meters around this classroom. Okay, very important, guys. Very, very, very important. So we've calculated the perimeter of this classroom. Last but not least, let us calculate now the perimeter of this vegetable garden. We can already see that this vegetable garden is a square. Okay, why? Because you can see that the lengths are all the same, all the sides are equal in length. Okay, then from there we can then just either take 2 meters plus 2 meters plus 2 meters plus 2 meters, or we can use that formula that I spoke about or that I showed you on how we calculate the perimeter of a square, which is 4 multiplied by the length. Okay, and we will get our answer. Okay, so let's do that. Okay, so to get the perimeter of the vegetable garden, you're just going to add all the sides together. Remember, we just want to find outline, the length around our shape. Okay, so from there, it'll just be 2 meters plus 2 meters plus 2 meters plus 2 meters, or you can just write it as 4 multiplied by 2 meters. You'll still get the same answer. So 2 plus 2, 2, 4, 6, 8 meters. And that is then the perimeter of our garden, meaning that if you had to walk around this vegetable garden, you would walk 8 meters. Okay, you walked around that vegetable garden, you would just walk 8 meters around. All right. Okay, and that is it for today's video tutorial, guys, on perimeter. Hope you guys enjoyed this video tutorial, and I hope it just opened your eyes up to how we're supposed to look at calculating perimeter. Okay, sometimes it's very important that we just move away from just working with the formula and just understand what we are actually doing when we are calculating perimeter, and we are basically just finding the total length around the outline of our shape. Okay, and I also just mentioned that just think of how you would just do it in grade 1, grade 2, when you were before you'd color in. Some of us, I would always outline my shape first and then color inside. So that is basically what we're trying to find. We're just trying to find that outline, okay, the total length of that outline of that shape. Okay, so I hope you guys appreciated this video tutorial where we calculated the perimeters of these following shapes. Please make sure that you are subscribed to the channel, because in the next video tutorials, guys, we're going to be talking about volume and a very, very, very important topic, surface area, which I think is also going to apply to, pure mathematics learners as well. Also, this also applies to pure mathematics learners as well. Okay, when they're also doing their measurement. Okay, so please make sure that you are subscribed to the channel. Also, please make sure that you click on that notification bell so that you get notified when the next video tutorial drops. That is it, guys, and I'll see you guys on my next upload, Distance Learning with Lee, where I make learning mathematics super easy. Bye, guys.